everybody doing tonight? It is 7 o'clock. It's Thursday. 7 o'clock. Time for the Conscious Creators Toolbox. So come on in. We've got our last session for January tonight. So come on in. Let's get started. Let's get ready to get started. Hi. Hi. Hi, Joan. How are you? How you doing? Good to see you. We need to walk. We haven't walked in a while. Let me get myself put together here.
Alert from calendar. CCTV.
Come on in. Conscious Creators Toolbox. Thank you. I feel better. I've got to tell you what's been going on. I'll tell everybody in a little bit what's been going on. It's been kind of a crazy few days for me. I made it though. So come on in. We're listening to Chandler Moore. One of his layest CD for 2020. I think the title of the album is Feelings. Chandler Moore. It's a nice album. I was kind of listening to it. I downloaded it and listening to him today this morning. He's a praise and worship leader. I think his father's a minister. I don't know for sure, but I know he's a musician. So, but I'm listening. That's what we're listening to. And I want Facebook to know and YouTube to know that we have no rights to the music. We just enjoy it. We really love music. We love music, and we enjoy it. So that we're listening to Chandler Moore from his album, and I think this is built to. I'm not sure. It's on his new album called Feelings, but it's a great album. I was listening to it this morning, and I think you would like it. If you like crazy worship music, it's right on. It's on the money for praise and worship. So, we're gonna turn it down in a minute, but I just want everybody to kind of come in. I see Joan is here. I see Joan is here. Oh, and I see Linda. Hi, Linda. How you doing? How those babies, girl? You look so cute with those babies. Your papa. It's good to see you guys. Welcome to the Conscious Creators Toolbox. It's Thursday, January the 28th. And we're finishing. We're going to do our last session on our higher self, communicating and being in touch with our higher self. And I've got to kind of end it off tonight. Hopefully it'll kind of wrap it up tonight, kind of go back and touch base on what we talked about earlier in the month, but we're going to finish it up tonight. And but I'm going to kind of simmer it down just a little bit. I'm trying to get my laptop going here. It's not cooperating with me, but it's coming. So just hang in there. Good to see everybody. Welcome to the Conscious Creators Toolbox on Thursday, January the 28th. It's the fourth session of communicating with our higher self. And I think I got it. All right. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn the music down. There we go. I don't want to. Just want to again let Facebook know that we have no rights to the music. We just enjoy it. We listen to it. So we want them to allow us to complete our video tonight. So I want to let them know that. So welcome again to the Conscious Creators Toolbox. And it's an opportunity to take a look at your creative abilities, your creative powers. Take them out of the toolbox, out of the tool shed. Get up close and personal with them. Sometimes you have to, kind of clean off your tools and get them sharpened up and, get them ready to use. You get them ready to use. They don't want to, when we're creating, we're manifesting, we need to make sure that we are, we got everything ready to go. And we're talking about communicating with our higher self. And of course, that puts us in touch with the source itself. Once we get that connection, make that connection, and we maintain that connection, and we got a pipeline to the creator, creation, universe itself. People say you need somebody to intercede for you, come stand in the gap. No, you don't. You just need to learn how to connect to that higher self, that higher power, and it taps you right into that higher power, your God self. connect you right into it, so you don't need anybody standing in the gap for you. I'm gonna do my darndest to show you and to share with you how to do it, how to get it done, how to get the job done. But you're gonna do it yourself. You're gonna talk. You're gonna have that communication with higher power. But anyway, Conscious Creators Toolbox. We meet every Thursday at 7 o'clock. About a 45 minutes to an hour session. When we were meeting in person, it was kind of nice because we could do some two-way back and forth, and we're trying to figure out how we can do that. We tried Zoom, and we might try to go back to see if we can do Zoom, but or we just may just have a couple of sessions. We are trying to work something out with ITC to get back into the center. I think they are trying to get ready to do that sometime in February or early March, but I'll let you know that we're still working on that. Because it's a workshop. It's a time to, kind of hands-on kind of activity, two-way. You talk to me, I talk to you, I share, you share, and we both get something out of it, and we walk away with, sharp tools. We get ready, we're manifesting and we're creating. But right now, we're just doing it. I'm just doing a little lectures. I'm doing some lectures and sharing, my study, and I share what is given to me, pass it on to you. And hopefully you benefit from it. Hopefully it still works for you. But we're working on trying to get some face-to-face. COVID is still kind of keeping us, being conscious of being socially distant, and honoring that, and making sure that we don't, spread that COVID any more so than it's spreading now. But anyway, looks like they're getting it under control, huh? That sounds good to me. But anyway, again, welcome to the Conscious Creators Toolbox, an opportunity to take a look at your creative abilities, your creative powers, kind of get up close and personal with them, identify them, sharpen them up, get them ready so you can manifest and create that life and your reality, the things that you want to create for yourself, in your life, and in your world, and in your reality. It's also an opportunity I get an opportunity to remind you who you are. I don't bite my tongue when I get an opportunity to let you know that you are unlimited, unrestricted, conscious creators, created in the image of the creator itself, himself, herself, and you are created out of the same stuff that creator is created from, and you can do, and you can create, and you can manifest, just like creator can create and manifest, and make things happen in your world, and create the experiences in the life that you want to create. And you cannot not create. You are a creator. That's what you do. Everything you do is creating and manifesting, either something good or something that you want, or something that, oops, my bad, I didn't mean to do that kind of thing. But what we do with Conscious Creators, we give you an opportunity to become aware of that and start creating and manifesting on purpose, and manifesting with an intention. You're intending, my intention is to have this awesome life. My intention is to get this job. My intention is to take this trip, to get that car, to have this relationship, to have this family, to have this home. That's my intention, and that's what I'm doing it on purpose, and I'm manifesting and I'm creating those things on purpose. I'm not going to manifest a little shed for my family to live in. No, I'm going to manifest a home, a beautiful home, and a nice neighborhood so that we can have a good life. So that's what we do. We talk about manifesting and identifying how we do it, and do it with purpose and deliberate. Do it deliberate. Like I say, you cannot not create, because that's what you are. You are a creator, just like your father, just like your maker, your creator created you to be and to do what creator can and do. And I like to remind people that God, Father, the great I am, our higher power, withholds nothing from us. Absolutely nothing. Absolutely everything that was created and made and he set forth in this world, in this life, it's at our disposal. It's at our use. It's for us. And that's what he created for. He created it for us, and for us to enjoy and to mimic him, and to reproduce what he does, and do what he does, what God does. And again, you cannot not create. So we're going to try to do it on purpose and do it with, intention. So tonight, tonight, like I said, we're going to finish up talking about connecting and making that connection with our higher self. And actually, tonight the topic is communicate with your higher self to get answers. Mm-hmm. You can do that. You can ask your higher self absolutely anything you want to ask, and higher self will respond to you and will answer you and will help you, will give you answers. Guide you, lead you. Show you the way, because that your higher self is connected to source. It's connected to all there is. It is connected to that higher, that the source, the essence of life itself. God, creation, creator, universe. It's connected to all of that. And that gives you a lot of clout, a lot of power. You got absolutely everything at your disposal once you make that aware of that connection that you have with higher self and with God. So before I get started, I have a couple of announcements to make. First of all, want to shout out to ITC, Interfaith Truth Center, out on Austell Road in Austell, Georgia, US of A. Want to say hello to them, my friends and family there. Let them know that I am doing my thing on Thursday, like I have been doing for about a year and a half. And every Thursday we meet to do the Conscious Creators Toolbox, and that's what we're doing tonight. And I will send you a copy of the video if you'd like to put it on the website. But I'd like to invite the Conscious Creators to take a look at the website. Go and take a look at interfaith.com and take a look and see what they do over there. It is a medical physical gift store, and it's a metaphysical service. They provide metaphysical services, products and events and classes and workshops and seminars, and so if you're just take a look at the website and see all of the activities and events and classes and workshops that they provide over there. They do things like yoga and Reiki healing, Reiki healing. They do some classes like tarot card readings, and like I said, they're a gift shop, so they have crystals and your sage and your saging products, things that you want to use for smudging. They have that. Books, have a nice bookstore. Hello. Good. Bookstore over there. It's a library, nice library. And they have counselors too. People, if you would want to, you want some information about, metaphysics, understanding understanding what that's all about. They do have an opportunity. You can do those. They have yoga classes. They have Tai Chi. Talk about crystals. Teach you about the crystals. Understanding crystals, understanding your energy centers, your chakras. They have classes on. They have all kind of activity going on, and of course, they have Sunday services. They have Sunday. They get together and have a Sunday service every Sunday. And I will be speaking on Sunday. I usually speak on the fourth Sunday, but I had death in the family, so I kind of switched up. They allowed me to be off last Sunday, and I'll be speaking on this Sunday. I'm going to be talking about forgiveness, something about freedom and forgiveness. They say, that's kind of the topic, freedom and forgiveness, something along those lines. We're going to talk about freedom and forgiveness, and they go together. So if you're in the area, stop by 11 o'clock. If not, I believe it's going to be on their website. They're going to broadcast it on their website, and I will hopefully record it and download it for us as well. And I may be able to record it as well or broadcast there too. We'll see how that goes. But Sunday at 11, I'm going to be talking about forgiveness at ITC. Also, remind you that on Sunday at 7, we have 7 at 7 on Sunday, your mini life coach session. Don't know what we'll be talking about on Sunday, but it's going to be something. Some life skill I'm going to share with you on a little bit of life skill. I've had a few calls lately asking about just a mini life coach session. Like I don't really want a life coach per se, because I don't want a long-term thing. But I was just wondering, Gina, if you take calls or you answer questions or and I say yes, I do that. And if you are interested in just a mini session with me, shoot me an email or text me, message me on the group page. You can message me. I would like information about a mini life coach session, and we can talk about it. I can get back with you, and we can see what we can do and how you schedule that. Usually I do them on Zoom. We do Zoom, or we can just, if you just want a vocal, we can just do it on a phone call. Either way. But shoot me a message, email me at info@jeanaaron.com if you want to email me a little bit of information about what your needs are or what your questions may be. Or if you just want to just do some general information about the services, give me a call. Give me a call or message me on the Facebook page. I would like to also thank everybody who expressed words of really just thoughts of expressing sympathy and expressing their condolences for our recent death in my family. We lost my cousin, Henry Aaron. He passed last Friday. Died in his sleep. Everybody wanted to do that, right? Everybody wanted to just go to sleep and, when it's my time, just sleep away. And he was blessed to be able to do that. And I think that it was very deserving of him because he lived just an exemplary life. He was a great athlete. He was a great cousin, but great husband, great father, great son, a great cousin for me, my cousin, and uncle. He was all of the above. But he was also a great benefactor. He was just an awesome philanthropist. He and his wife, Billy, started Chasing Your Dream Foundation. It's actually their foundation, where they would help kids go to college and that had a passion or had a dream that they wanted to see done, and that was one of the things that he his wife founded, and they did a lot of other things. But I know he's known as the Hammering Hank to most folk. He's known as cousin to me, and daddy to my cousins, and sweetheart to Billy, I'm sure, and sister and brothers to other my cousins, other cousins. But we miss him, and we will miss him, and I appreciate your thoughts and your prayers on behalf of our family. I appreciate that. And that is my announcement. That's it. That's all I have for you tonight. All righty. So, communicate with your higher self to get answers. That's what we're talking about tonight. And like I said, we've talked about connecting with your higher self most of the month, all month. This is actually the fourth session. We talked about what the higher self was and why was it important to connect, and we talked a little bit about how to connect. So tonight we're going to talk about connecting with a purpose, and that purpose is to get answers or actually communicate and have that two-way relationship and that two-way talk. And it's going to, I want to share some things with you. But first I want to ask you, first of all, have you ever had a date with your higher self? Have you ever taken the time or made the time to spend some time just with you, your higher self and you? Have you taken the time to do that? Have you made the time to do that? If you haven't, I'm gonna suggest that it's something that you should do. You should make an effort to sit quietly with yourself, or sit with yourself to get to know yourself, to make that connection with yourself, to acknowledge that you are aware that there is a higher you. There is something more than just this flesh and blood body that we look in the mirror and we can see every day or whenever we want to take a look at ourselves. And make that connection and just be aware of it. Because first of all, I do want to make it clear that you are always connected to your higher self. You're always connected. You just cannot not be connected. And I'm going to talk a little bit more about that, but I think that connection is a little bit misleading in a way, because connection means it kind of makes you think that you have to make an effort to take something and plug something in, or take something and put something together. Well, you really don't, because you are always and forever connected with your higher self. There is a God self, that higher self, that authentic person, the real you. The real you is forever connected to source, to God, to creation, basically. So there's so much more to us than just our physical form, our bodies, the things that we, like I said, what we can look at and what we can touch, and all those five senses. There's a lot more to us than that. A lot more. In fact, there's, when we think of just our physical body, just to understand and really realize what we are as humans, human being, human, physical, that gets a little bit complicated too, because we are very intricate. It's just really, we're complicated. We are not, something that somebody just kind of, threw together and you make them clay and boom, 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 there it is. No, we've got systems, we've got all types of systems, we got all kind of organs going on. We got this brain mind thing going. We got, just stuff, life happening. And the more we get to know, the more science and doctors and physicians understand about the body, the physical body, the more they realize how much they don't know about the physical body, And one of the reasons I kind of, you think about it, we're evolving. And evolving means that we're changing constantly. So, you have to be on the job if you're going to keep up with what we are and what we're all about. If we're evolving and changing from moment to moment, from year to year, from day to day, we're evolving. So we're much more than our physical body, first of all, and our physical body is very complicated. But we have another part of us, another piece of us, another being in us that is even more complicated, or more mysterious, if you would, or more, I don't know, Twilight Zone, I guess, so, just more mysterious than even our physical bodies. And again, our physical selves are very complicated. When you start thinking about, how the brain works and how everything is synchronized, and, we can, we don't have to really think about breathing and making sure our heartbeat is all that's taken care of, and it's, and it goes on, and then the systems, all of it work together, and we're pretty cool. Our Creator did a job with us, but we are more than just our physical bodies. And we do spend a lot of time just thinking about, when we talk about ourselves, we just think about the physical part of us. Or we express, how we look and how we, feel, and what I'm thinking about, and, what I'm worried about, and what I'm going to do. And, it's all in the physical. We think about ourselves most times just as a physical being, just as a physical person. But we are so much more than physical. We are that higher self, that spirit man, that God self, that authentic self, that real self. Is going to go on long after this physical body is done, because it's got an expiration date. Okay, it's got an expiration date. Our bodies do, but the physical, that spirit, that higher self, that spirit man, that God self, that authentic self, is an eternal being. It's an eternal, forever and ever. I don't know. It had a beginning, but it has no end. It goes on from eternity, from everlasting. It's an everlasting part of us, and that's the higher self that we're talking about this month, and that's the higher self that I would like to invite you, if you haven't made an effort to really get to know that higher self, that spirit self, that authentic self, just as much, or just make that just as important of a relationship as a connection as you do with understanding what your body and what you need in the physical, those five senses and all that. You've got, that spirit man, like I said, it goes on after this is gone. After this is gone, and you have to wonder what happens after that. Talk to higher self, and maybe you can get a better understanding of what eternity means, and what's happening in the after. After this life, this physical body is done with. But anyway, if you haven't, if you have not stopped to really think about that, I want to ask you to take some time and spend time, make some time to have that date with your higher self. And I promise you, you will not be disappointed. You may be a little bit, like initially, if you something that you're not used to doing, you may feel kind of uncomfortable for a minute, and what am I waiting here for? And give it some time, and have some intention here. It'll happen. It happens. You will become aware, and you will make that connection, or you will awaken to the connection, or to the, I'm going to call it a union. You're going to awaken to the union because it's never broken. The connection is always there. So I'm going to call it a union rather than a connection. So if you haven't, then it's time that you do. Okay. Okay. We talked about the session. We talked about what we talked about the last few months. I mean, last few sessions, and we're not gonna touch on it a little bit tonight. We're not gonna spend too much time right at this moment. Tonight, I want to spend just a little bit more time sharing the possibilities and the wonders and the miracles of communicating with your higher self. And I want to, tonight when I'm done, I want to really top off the topic and finish the topic, and have a piece about it. And that piece for me would be that I've delivered to you. I've delivered to you the understanding that was given to me in regards to the higher self, that spirit man, that God self, because that's what was given to me to share with you, and that's I want to leave the topic knowing that I have given you that understanding. And again, it's not, maybe you may not get it right away. You may have to kind of think about it, and maybe listen to the video again at some future time or whatever. But I do want you to realize the possibilities and the wonders and the miracles that can take place in that connection, that awareness of that connection with your higher self. And that's my main thing tonight, is to leave you and feel like I've left you with that understanding. Now, like I said, you're always connected. That higher self is always patiently sitting there, waiting, watching and observing you. You're the observer. You're the observed. And that higher self is patiently, quietly waiting for you to acknowledge and to show awareness, be aware, show that you are conscious of the presence or its existence, or that it's there, that part of you exists. And then once you make that connection, or you make that awareness, awaken to it, and you've invited that communication to take place, then it opens you up for just all kind of possibilities. Okay, it's an opportunity for you to receive guidance, because it's connected to God. It's connected to creation. It's connected to eternity. It knows your future. It knows your past. It knows absolutely everything there is to know about you and your future and your life, and all the possibilities. It's all there, available to you. So you have the opportunity to inquire and to receive guidance and receive love receive compassion, receive understanding, receive every good thing, every good thing. It's there for your good. It's there. Your higher self is absolutely there for your good, for whatever it is you want. It won't condemn you for any choices that you make. It's not like me. I mean, I might say, oh, you shouldn't have done that. Well, higher self is a little more gentler than that. Oh, you did that, and that's just what we're going to learn from that. Did it work out like you wanted it to? It didn't. Well, let's see. Let's find out if we learned, or what do we get out of that experience? Because absolutely every experience that we have is can be of benefit to us. Whether it was an oops, my bad, I made a mistake, or rah rah. Look at I'm cheering. Just bring on the band. I'm bad. But your higher self is not like you and I, who's sitting around and waiting and judging and waiting for you to do the right thing or got a list of do's and don'ts. No, it's very accommodating, very loving, very open, forgiving, compassion, total love. I mean, just love unconditionally. Never ever condemning you. You won't ever feel and you won't ever feel alone. You won't feel like you got to run and hide. No, you don't have to hide from your higher self. You can be just you. You can just be you. It's not there to judge you at all. It's just to comfort and lead and guide you. So having that, making that, being aware of that connection and taking advantage of that connection, it's a good thing. It's a privilege. It's a gift to all of us. The more we take the time, make the time to express or show awareness or be conscious of the union, the connection with higher self, the stronger the bond will be, the stronger the relationship will be, the stronger the connection will be, and the more benefit you're going to receive from it, the more joy, all of the goodness that you will experience. You can just multiply it, because absolutely every time you make that connection, you're going to have this experience. And it's a wonderful, warm experience. But it's to your benefit, because everybody wants to feel like they belong. Everybody wants to feel like they're okay, wants to feel like they're accepted, wants to feel like, they got a friend. They've got somebody that takes them just like I am. I don't have to pretend, or I can just be me. And that's a good friend. That's a good friend. So your higher self is your friend. It's you, but it's your forever best friend that will never leave or forsake you, won't turn their back on you, won't tell on you, won't squill on you, but will show you and guide you and lead you into absolutely any direction or any way you want to go. And will keep you out of trouble if that's what you want to. If you want to, I want to have this fun. I want, it'll keep you out of trouble. It'll guide you to do the things that will benefit you in your life, to help you manifest and create that life that you have in mind, that you want to create and you want to make for yourself. Now, I think that I made it kind of pretty clear what that higher self was, that it is the real you. And it's sometimes when we speak of higher self, we talk of higher consciousness, because if you're talking about, because it is it's consciousness, and when we're connected to that higher self, then we are connected basically to cosmic, or to God self, or God consciousness, God awareness, eternity, creation itself. We make that connection, and that aspect of consciousness has no, when we think about it, it has no container. You think of things like, I'm contained in this body, but when we're connected to creation and we're connected to God, there is no limit to God. There is no end to God. There's no, it's not even, you don't even look, there's no, I say there's no container for that consciousness. It's just there, it's, it's forever and evermore. And when you have that kind of access, think of the power that you have access to. All the knowing, all the understanding, all the wisdom, all the love, all the every good, bad, or indifferent thing is available for you in that union, that connection with your higher self, with creation, with God. So again, I can't stress the importance or the benefit or the benefit to you, the advantage that you would receive or you would have available to you if you make that connection, if you set time aside and just make the connection. Become aware of who you are and what's available to you in that higher self. I was gonna see. It says we higher the higher self, higher consciousness knows absolutely everything. When we want to learn to connect, to commune, or communicate with the higher self, people kind of wonder, is it possible? I mean, can anybody do that? Of course, anybody, absolutely anybody can connect with higher self. And again, I say connect when it's not really connect. It's really just you, because you're always connected. It's a union when you become aware of that connection. And I'm personally, I come to believe that it is a union. And I'm going to call it a union. It's not just a connection. It's a union. And like I said, we are always and forever. We always have that union. We're never without God. We're never without our higher self, access to our higher self. We just need to recognize and we need to understand and we need to acknowledge and embrace that truth about ourselves. When we awaken to the fact of who we are, it's again, because consciousness is so vast, consciousness is so endless, that we don't wake up to the whole cosmic understanding or the cosmic consciousness. We gradually evolve into this understanding, evolve into the levels. I'm going to say levels of consciousness and levels of awareness. You wake up and you're aware that you are. I am what? Well, you are a creator. What does that mean? And you get understanding of what that is, and you get an understanding of how unlimited you are and how vast it is, how unrestricted you are, and what you're able to do, and there's more can than can't, and that you have free will and you can make choices, and as long as you can live with the consequence of those choices, then that's fine, well and good. But we awaken gradually. If we had access to absolutely everything that God is and God can and God does, our little bodies and our little minds probably couldn't contain it. So we awaken in degrees. In our consciousness, we become aware and become conscious in degrees. And the fact of our physical being, and I think somebody says, why do we feel separate from our higher self, or separate from God, or separate from one another, when we really are all one? Well, I was kind of thinking about that today when I was working on this, and I thought it is kind of confusing that we're physical, but we're also spirit, and we're always connected to God. So why is that? Well, the fact of our physical beingness or our physical state includes the feeling of being separate. In order to, I think, cope in our physical world, in our life, in the three-dimensional, we have to create, in order to have the experiences that we have to create an illusion of being separate in order to really cope and deal in the physical, right? And when we come here, when we actually come in and we wake up, we feel that separateness. But it's really not. It's really an illusion, because again, we can never not, because that's our life. I mean, the life in us is the source. It's connected to the source. And once that life is gone, then the body is no animation, no life in it, so it's gone. It's gone. But as long as we have life in us, that's proof in itself that we are connected to the source. That's the proof. That is the undoubted proof that we are connected to source, because source is our life that gives us the life. So that feeling that we get of separation, again, it's just an illusion. And it's an illusion to allow us to have the experiences that we have. I want to share something with you that Eckhart Tolle, if you've heard of him, he's a spiritual teacher, and I was reading, and when I was studying, I read this, and I thought I would, I want to actually read it to you. I'm going to quote it, because what he says in regards to, the separation and why it's the confusion of this illusion of being separate from our higher self and God. This is what he says. He says, "You are a human being. These two words, human beings, only describe who you are as a member of a particular species. But if you examine more deeply, also the point to the twofold nature of your identity, human is who you are on the level of form, that is to say, your body and mind. These two aspects of you form identity, makes up your conditioned self. That self is conditioned by genetics and the environment, as well as other factors as yet unknown to science." And remember, I said that we're so complicated that, the more they learn about the physical body, the more they realize that they don't know, and the more they need to know. So there are things about us as human beings. It's a human part of us, that mind and body part of us, that is beyond science. Science hadn't quite figured it all out yet. But he goes on to say, being, on the other hand, that physical being, that spirit man, that authentic person, that God self, being, on the other hand, points to the essence of who you are as timeless, formless, and unconditioned consciousness. Human and being, form and essence, body and spirit, body and essence, are ultimately not separate. In the same way that a wave or ripple, get this, that a wave or ripple on the surface of the ocean is not separate from the ocean itself or from any other part of the wave or ripple, although it may appear that it's separate. But the waves look like they look like they separate, but they separate from each other, but they do not. And just like us, our bodies may appear to be separate from the other, and we have this demarcation that we have to actually consciously, deliberately make a connection and become aware of that spirit part of us, that essence part of us, our being. Okay, but we really don't. It's just the awareness is there. The union is always there. The union is always there. I want to share something else too. This is a friend of mine, Ken Furlick. He's a physicist and an author and a friend. And in his Releasing Your Unlimited Creativity lectures, this is something that how he discussed consciousness as energy in regards to creation. Now, this is what he says. He says that the consciousness that's within or behind creation can be considered the creator or creation. When fully aware, it can be seen as cosmic consciousness, and cosmic is everything. Some, if they wish, can consider this consciousness within or behind creation as God. And I do. I'm one of those people that consider that as God or creator or the great I am. However, he goes on to say, what needs to be understood is this consciousness within or behind creation does not and cannot experience creation unless it steps into the illusion of shattering itself and living in separation. And basically what he's basically saying in this case is, in order to experience, because the cosmic consciousness is whole, it's one. And in order for that cosmic energy, that cosmic consciousness to experience being a human or being a man or being a plant or being anything other than conscious, what it is, energy, then it has to create an illusion of being separate from itself so that it can, like the waves of the ocean, the waves flip up and it can look back at itself. It can look back at the rest of itself and know, but it's created an illusion of being a separate. So, and I guess I wanted to kind of point that out because I want to make sure that you understand that you are never, ever, ever separate from the God, from creation, from creator, from the source, from that essence of who you are. The body is only an instrument used to cope with the physical, the three-dimensional realm that we're living in. But if we were in a different dimension, we'd have probably a different form. We may not need a physical body or all the systems that we have and the organs that we have, and in fact, you can, if you think about it, how even the world, even the three dimension is evolving. It's changing. It's growing. It's evolving into and becoming something other than it is today. Tomorrow it'll be, it's just changing. It's evolving. It requires our physical bodies to change to accommodate, so that we can accommodate the environment, the evolution of that environment. It's all becoming, because we are eternal, and everything evolves. Everything goes from one form to the next form to the next form into eternity. We never stay stagnant. We never stay, stagnant or static. Not just as one being or one form forevermore. We're forever evolving, forever becoming and becoming and becoming and becoming for an eternity. But anyway, I want to share those two with you because in both of those discussions, I want you to know that there is a oneness. It talks about the oneness, about the higher self, the physical self, the God self, creation, God itself, creation, the essence. All is one. It's all one. It's a oneness, all one and the same. And that, for me, it's I really find assurance and comfort and power in understanding this, because I try to share that understanding as often as I can, when I get a chance, I want to recommend that if you get a chance that you kind of check into Eckhart Tolle, and Ken Furlick, Releasing Your Unlimited Creativity. If you could just Google those and check those out, because it's got a lot of information about our creative abilities and who we are and what we have access to in being the beings that we are, and the physical persons that we are, the human that we are, and the beings that we are. That we have we have tremendous power and creativity at our disposal with that understanding. So if you get a chance, look about it. Both of them are very informing, very, very informative. So how do you bring the divine creative essence, into your life, into your everyday How do you, bring it to you so you can use it? Well, so you can experience it. How do you know? How do you do it? I mean, how do you do it? You find, I find nothing is truly real for me until I can prove it for myself. I have a lot of, I have to, how do I do this? I believe that it's possible to, to have that relationship, to have that experience. But until I have it for myself, it's just a belief. And I have, I'm strong in my beliefs now. I have some beliefs that I will lay my life down on and I'll bet my life on, Yes, I believe in, and I've got beliefs. I believe in Jesus Christ. I believe in God. I believe in those things. So yeah, I have to believe. But again, it doesn't, they're good. And like I said, I stake my life on most of them. But until you actually experience those beliefs or make them experiences, they are just beliefs. And they're strong, but they're still their beliefs. So I get really excited and beside myself when I get an opportunity to be able to prove one of my beliefs. And when I discovered and when I made that connection with my higher self, and I realized how close I was to actually sitting at the feet of creation. It just opened up a whole different attitude about who I am and who you are and who, the people that I associate with, my associates, my networks, my friends, my family. It just opened up a whole different respect or different awe about life and about what is called on me to do and to be with and in this life. So I've experienced and I've learned how to bring that essence into my experience, and I can go there, and I enjoy going there, and I deliberately, intentionally make it a point to go to that higher place and to commune and to communicate with that higher self and to spend time as much as I can and as often as I can with creation, with God, with Source, with that essence. And there's nothing, absolutely nothing like it. And I think I've shared this probably every week that we've talked about it. There's absolutely nothing like spending that time with your higher self, with God, with the essence of who you are, and it's peaceful. It's a peace that surpasses words, and I stumble because there's not a whole lot of words I can. It's hard to express, but if I can lead a person to it, or help you open yourself up to it, or to want to have the desire, because basically just having the desire to do it is you're there. You're more than halfway there. Just having the desire to experience it, because as much as you want to experience higher self wants to experience you as well. It wants to be a part of you want to experience you. He sits and watches and observes us constantly and waiting for us to need or to reach out or to want to make a contact or to just ask me something, just what can I help you with? Higher self is there for our good. It's for our good and for our life and for our livelihood, for our anything that we need, as we're manifesting and creating the life that we have. Higher self, God is there. That essence is available to us to help us in any endeavor that we desire, that we choose. So when we can bring our awareness and our consciousness to that height and at that place, which is high or deep. Sometimes we say, well, how is it high or well? It's high, it's deep, and it's wide. It's all of the above. But when you can bring yourself to that place, you rise above your own physical five senses, the own physical, how you look and how you feel and what you're thinking. You rise above that. You rise above the self-orientation. You rise above just the regular everyday things that's going on in your life. You're transported above all of that. And you find yourself looking not just into inquiring for yourself, but you know that whatever you receive from higher self, from God, is not just for your good. It's for the good of others. It's for good of you and others. And it's an opportunity for you to ignite that divine essence in yourself. And it also is an opportunity for you to become aware of a higher version of who you are. You ignite a divine essence, and then you become aware of that higher version of yourself. And it's also, again, it's also all part of the human evolution as a eternal being. It gives you an opportunity to rise, because every time you go to that place, you've opened yourself up to more awareness, more consciousness, higher awareness. You've heightened it. You've moved to another level, from one height to another height to another height. So if anyone asks you again, if anybody asks you, is it possible to access a higher consciousness? Absolutely, positively, absolutely you can. Again, all you have to do is have the desire to want to connect, and want to have that communion, want to have that connection, want to have that communication, that time with your higher self, that time with that essence. You want to enjoy it. You want to have an opportunity to do it. So we can learn to access that consciousness or that spiritual self with as often as you want, as frequently as you want. And again, the more often you do it, the stronger the stronger the bond will become. The easier it will be to take you from where you are to the heights. The more you do it, and it comes as sometimes you really want to be there, because with life so crazy as crazy it can be, you kind of want to escape, right? So it's an opportunity to escape from all this craziness sometimes, and just give me some peace and quiet. Give me just some time to catch my breath. Give me some time to just be just quiet, at peace. Not just to leave this craziness behind just for 30 minutes, 10 minutes, I don't care, 5 minutes. Give me just a few minutes. Because we can all use that break. So it'll give you an opportunity to take a break, give you an opportunity to strengthen that relationship and that bond, that union between yourself and your higher self, your physical self and your higher self. So just practice it and do it. And once you start, just do it as often as you can, as frequently as you can. Now, I've learned that one of the things I've learned about life is that the challenges that we have in our lives actually gives us an opportunity to awaken to a higher level of consciousness. Because if we take our challenges and the things and obstacles in our lives, and we take them to our higher self to help resolve, or to help understand, or what is it that I'm supposed to get from this or understand from this, and your God and your higher self walks you through that, and help all these obstacles and all these challenges start unfolding, or coming to resolutions right before you, and you're in the midst of it. It gives you an opportunity to rise to the occasion through and in spite of the challenges, in spite of the obstacles that we have. And again, it awakens you to a higher level. So for every challenge that we have, or every obstacle that comes into our path or into our lives, if we take that to our higher self, to help understand and help unfold the resolution of these challenges and these problems, then that that time spent with higher self in resolving and coming to solutions and resolve, just solving those problems, overcoming those challenges, overcoming those obstacles. It gives us an opportunity again. We can look at them and it could take us higher. And I believe that let's see, can I do that? Yeah, I believe that's what I think it was Tolle was saying. He said something in that respect. He said, if he suggested that if we observe the challenges in our lives as they unfold from a deeper state of awareness, then that in itself, and not judging it, but not judging it or trying to run away from it or trying to make it go away, just watch it unfold. And in that unfoldment, and in that unfolding, it's taking us to a deeper understanding of ourselves, a deeper understanding of life. It's making us stronger. It's opening our awareness and our consciousness up to higher places and to heights that we have yet to attain. For every obstacle and every challenge that we overcome, we've reached a higher plane. We've reached a higher understanding, a higher state of awareness, a higher state of consciousness. So your higher self is that ability that enables you to remain peaceful, even in the midst of all these challenges, even in the midst of the obstacles that may happen in your life, in the midst of turbulence, in the midst of just the stuff that really get us down. This COVID situation, all the stress that we were going through with that, losing jobs, having to, homeschool our kids, having to change absolutely everything that we're doing. Even though they have been awesome challenges to us, awesome challenges to all of us, obstacles one after another, but we have overcome them. And you can pat yourself on the back and you can high five your higher self, because with your intention and your desire and your resolve to continue and to be better and to get beyond this and get on the other side of this. The other side of this was taking you higher, was taking you to a better you, a more you, a greater you, just the better you, the best you. So your higher self, again, is the ability that enables you to remain peaceful even in the midst of all of this. And it kind of reminds me of the story of Jesus on the boat. When he was with his disciples, he was sleeping in the back of the boat, and the boat, the sea was going crazy, and everything was topsy turvy, and they thought they were gonna sink, and they said, "This man is back here sleeping. We need to wake him up." He was probably hanging out with his higher self, and he was at peace because he knew that everything was okay. It's a challenge. This weather's crazy. The sea's gonna be doing its thing, but a higher self has assured me that it's gonna be fine. So higher self, when you have that relationship with higher self, you can get through a lot of stuff that we can't seem to manage to get through on our own, because higher self and God knows all the pitfalls and all the ways, he knows the way. They know the way. The way is mapped out, and they can tell you where the alligators are in the stream, and they can tell you where the rocks are that you can just walk right across. So making that connection with your higher self will give you access to that kind of knowing, that kind of information, that kind of guidance. So peace is one of the things that you're going to get from that, and it's going to be a peace that you're going to wonder where it came from after when the sea's rolling, going crazy, and COVID is got you wondering where your next meal's going to come, or why am I going to pay this house payment. But higher self can get you through that. So there's that old saying that the old folk used to say, take it to the Lord in prayer. Well, take it to your higher self. Make that connection with your higher self, and receive the guidance that you need, the assurance that you need, so that you can not have to worry, and you can not have to fret, and people will look at you and say, well, you're making it through COVID just fine. Yeah, I'm making it okay, because I've got a connection. I've got a connection. Tell them, so maybe they'll get a connection too, because we all have access to higher self. We all have access. We all struggle and tossing this crazy stuff all around us about, and just making a big fuss of it. But we have the same opportunity for the access to peace, access to guidance. We all have the same access. It's just that some of us are more aware that it's there, or some of us may be aware but may not believe it. But it sounds like magic. That sounds like something that, it is kind of like magic, but you got to try it. You got to open yourself up to it. You got to awaken yourself to the truth, to the reality of who you are and what you are, what you have access to. You have access to peace. You have access to guidance in any and every situation. We don't have to, we're not orphans that are left here with, to fend it on our own. We have access to a greater self, a God self that knows, again, all the little, all the little rocks across the water that you can, there's one over there that will lead you right through, right across the river. Will make sure that, that the boat don't sink, will, to tell you to stop when you need to stop and go when you need to go, so that's available to you. That's available to you via your higher self. There are several signs that show or let you know that you are connected with your higher self. Yeah, that's true. Calmness would be one, yes. Calmness would be one. Peace and calmness would be one. And you could also experience compassion, just total acceptance of who you are and what you are. A love that is totally unconditional, a love that that this you're feeling this love, and you're able to express love, that is beyond your own capability of expressing, because you're human and you got ego there, and you know what ego does. Ego judges. Ego is a judge, and while ego judge everything that you do, everything that you say, look at you, and that's kind of strange. You're kind of weird, but your higher self don't call you weird. Don't call you. In fact, nothing's weird about you. You are who you are, and higher self helps you understand and accept who you are, and have no doubt or no other meaning other than the fact that you are who you are. And you want to call yourself weird, if that's a loving word that you want to use, that's fine. Higher self will go along with it, as long as it's loving, as long as it's accepting, as long as it's not putting yourself down. Because higher self has none of that. There's no putting you down. It's just accepting you for who you are and what you are. So you know that you are connected when you feel a sense of acceptance of yourself, of feeling accepted by your higher self and yourself. You know that. You can believe me, that when you can sense that feeling of love and compassion and acceptance of who you are, just like you are, a mess and all, that you might call yourself, then understand that you're connected. And when you have that peace that goes, again, the peace that goes without, you just don't understand why you have it, then you're connected. Higher self understands and respects your long term. Ego wants to get it done fast. Okay, or we want to get it done fast. We want to do it and get it done. But higher self is there for the long haul. It's part of eternity, and it understands eternity. And we want microwaved everything, but higher self will help you understand and be patient with you to understand that there's a bigger picture and that this is only a piece of what's going on, but I have the whole picture here. And you hang out, you stick with me, you trust me, you believe me, allow me to show you. So this is higher self talking to you, and I will help you understand and help you have the patience to get through and see the big picture, the long term, the whole thing, rather than bits and pieces of it. Higher self is very patient, very, very patient, and will wait forever for you to acknowledge and you to become aware. And when you do, you're gonna wonder what took you so. You're gonna wonder what took you so long, because higher self is just patiently waiting for you to acknowledge, for you to express a desire for guidance, to ask it a question, to seek its help, its guidance, whatever. It just patiently sits there and wait. The higher self understands and helps set and establish our boundaries that we might have with ourselves and our relationships and our lives. It understands that, and it's not boundaries that will hurt anyone. It's boundaries that even with other people, even with the others, where we have to set boundaries in relationships and all. It higher self will help us do it in a way that it will demonstrate love and respect for that other person, and it won't hurt or offend them in any way whatsoever. Sometimes we say no, and no means no, but with higher self, when higher self says no, it's almost it's okay, and you understand, because higher self helps expresses it and demonstrates it in a way that we know that it's not just for me, my good, not going to just make me feel good, but everybody then that's involved is going to benefit from this boundary or this situation or this no or this whatever the whatever the boundaries are that we plan. So it helps us develop and set healthy boundaries for not only just ourselves but for everybody. Another thing that we'll know that we're connected with our higher self is when we realize and experience win-win outcomes. In other words, we're in this together, and one of us is going to win, and one of us is going to lose. Well, no, with higher self, when higher self is involved in that relationship and that connection and that situation, then trust me, it's going to be a win-win. Everybody is going to come out okay. Everybody's going to benefit. Nobody's going to be slighted. Nobody's going to be probably even felt like they're slighted. Your higher self, that higher power, that higher being is going to make sure that it's going to win. It's going to be okay. Everybody's going to be okay. So you have calm. You're connected with that higher self. You have a peace, a centered peace, a grounded peace that goes without understanding. You have the ability to make decisions that benefit not just yourself, but everybody that's involved. You have the opportunity to set boundaries, healthy boundaries in situations and in circumstances and in relationships that, again, is going to make everybody feel inclusive. Nobody's going to be feeling excluded or slighted at all, because higher self is concerned with the overall. It's concerned with the total, the whole picture, the whole complete you, not bits and parts of you, or the parts that you can see today and you can't see tomorrow, because higher self can see the end from the beginning to the end. All of it's available for higher self. So and again, you feel a sense of peace, you feel a sense of love, you feel a sense of acceptance. then you know that you are connected. You are connected with that, with your higher self. And once you have that connection, once you realize and aware of that connection, and you experience that connection, and I mean experience it, experience the love, experience the peace, experience the satisfaction of winning, and sharing that win with others, and enjoy having relationships where everybody respects everybody, and there's an unconditional sense of compassion, and unconditional sense of empathy, and love for one another, and nobody's slighted. Everybody, when God is involved, and higher self is involved in those connections, in those situations, and in your life journey, and your life plans, it's going to go a whole lot smoother. And even if it doesn't go smooth, you're going to have a peace about the challenges and even the obstacles that come up, because you know you're not in it by yourself, and you know you're going to have an assurance and a peace about it that it's going to be okay. That it might be rocky now, everybody's falling out with COVID here and COVID, but it hasn't come near my tent yet. I'm going to be fine, because I have that assurance. I'm respecting all the boundaries, and I'm loving, and I'm showing compassion, and I'm respecting, and I'm taken care of, because I've made that union. I've taken my directions and my directives from somebody, or somebody that can see the end right from the beginning. So, and I rely on that, and I'm trusting in that, and that's where I'm putting all my faith, and that's where I'm putting my faith in that relationship, in that union. So how does higher self actually communicate with us? I'm gonna say this, and I'm gonna be just about done with I think, yeah. How does higher self actually communicate? Communicates in several ways. Dreams communicate in just the hunches. I don't know if you've ever had a hunch, or feeling, or gut feeling, or whatever. That's that's a little nudge from a higher self is trying to contact you. Dreams are a lot. Dreams communicate quite often in dreams. And sometimes, you can get, you can get this impression, or this this thought, some thoughts that, you're doing something, you're trying to figure something out, and something just kind of, just a thought may just come to your mind, or whatever. And then you start thinking about it, and it probably came from higher self. So you're talking, you communicates with you just like you and I do, but maybe not in the verbal, or maybe not in, you sitting down talking to me and you, but the impressions, and you'll get those thoughts that'll this ideas come to you, ideas and impressions come to you. That's usually higher self. Higher self is communicating with you. Kind of be careful. We're going to talk about ego, because ego has a way of slipping in there too. We're going to talk about the difference in that one of these times. But those are some of the ways it talks to you. I'm going to probably leave it at that, because I'm going a little bit over. But I do want to say that again, make the connection. Deliberately, purposefully seek to have a relationship with your higher self. And I promise you'll get more benefit than you do of, maybe the time that you feel like it's going to take you to get started, or start that process. But do it as often as you can, and as much as you can. And develop and set aside time, set aside time to do that, to spend time with your higher self. I'm gonna have to leave it at that, because I'm a little bit over. But what I want to do next month, we're gonna be talking about something different. But I do want to kind of top it off. I want to share with you a couple of meditations, and some other couple of things like some journaling, and want to give you some information about information on how to use journaling and meditating and kind of journaling and keeping tracks of your dreams to kind of help with that, understanding the communication and developing that two-way communication with your higher self. But I'm going to leave it at that tonight. I'm sorry I ran out of time. I kind of got a little bit carried away with, a little bit. But again, thanks for joining me. And remember, you are a creative being. You are physical. You have a physical and a mind, and you also have a spirit. And the spirit man is what will connects with that higher, with your essence, with the life giver, with creation. And that is, don't forsake that part of you for just the body. Take care of your body by all means, but do not forsake your spirit man, that authentic self, that God self, that higher self. Just remember that you're always forever available and connected to Source. God bless you. God keep you. Remember, tune in on Sunday for 7 at 7, and I will see you next week. Again, I'm sorry I ran out of time. I wanted to finish this, and I'm going to try to next time. But have a great week. Enjoy the rest of your week, and I will see you next Thursday. God bless. Take care. Good night.